so we'll be having discussions as to, well, what should we expect from the new Chief Justice? A brouhaha about Akonta mining. There's a lot of noise that have been made concerning the confiscation of their license. Delve into that discussion as well. If time would allow us, we also go into the Tamale Teaching Hospital. The issue happening about the minister having an encounter with a doctor. The doctors have come out to say that, hey, they'll be going on a strike if they don't get an apology from the minister. And they are insisting that the CEO must be called back to his office. Well, stick and stay with Ultimate 106.9 from now till 9, where we'll serve you the best of breakfast. But this morning, let me just let you know, Cup of Tea is proudly brought to you by Goldfinger Restaurant. Are you looking for a perfect place to give yourself a good treat? Are you new in town? You don't know where to have your meals from morning to evening? We will give you the best, the right taste, and give you comfort as well. And it's all about the Goldfinger Restaurant. Where can you locate Goldfinger Restaurant? We are in Shire, behind the Despite building. Listen, do you want to organize a party for yourself? Is it a birthday party you want to organize for your mother or anybody? Is it a wedding? Do you want to host a program? Conferences? It's all at Goldfinger Restaurant. During the weekends, we are giving you an opportunity to serve you breakfast in the morning from 7 to 11 a.m. and lunch from 11 to 4. Goldfinger Restaurant, where you get that luxury and good taste. Their meals is just like home. Feel comfort at home with Goldfinger Restaurant. Jeffrey Praise Computers, yes, your home of laptops and desktop computers. Are you in need of a brand new laptop or probably desktop or slightly used laptop or desktop? Jeffrey Praise Computers have got it all. Listen, when it comes to technology, everything about it. When it comes to computers, CCTV cameras, projectors, then it's all about Jeffrey Praise Computers. Yesterday I was telling you, look, you must ensure your security is a priority. And so that your new home, probably you would need CCTV cameras, fixing. Call on us, Jeffrey Praise Computers. We are located at Bantama High Street near GNTC, opposite Unity House. We will give you the best. Schools listening to me this morning, do you want to set up your new ICT laboratory? Then the best place to go is Jeffrey Praise Computers. Jeffrey Praise Computers. When it comes to quality, it's all about Jeffrey Praise Computers. Providence Insurance, your #1 insurance company. Call on Obaya right now, 0242426396, and she will sort you out. All kinds, all times, whatever it is. Do you want to insure your car? That your new car? Yes, that your brand new car. Your new house. Everything insurance is a Providence Insurance. Yes, go sit with us. Come, we are ready to do business with you. In fact, let me tell you this. Look, that your shop, you need to insure it, and the best insurance company is Providence Insurance. He's director in charge of corporate and legal affairs with NEP. As the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Plan. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. How are you, sir? How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Yes. In fact, this morning I need not to be told. I mean, it's quite. I've always said that we have to be grateful to have an opportunity to have life again. And so if you have life again, because not everybody that witnessed today, the last Friday in the month of April, and we are never going to have this day again, the 25th of April is never going to happen again. And so, yes, 25th of April 2025, it's never going to happen again. So if you've had an opportunity, then in fact it's by God's grace. But I wouldn't want us to waste much time. It's all about everything about NEP this morning.
That's very true.
Yes. To begin with, can you briefly tell us what the whole Ejuma Wura project is about, and why is NEP really much involved in that, playing key role and with the implementation of the Ejuma Wura?
Thank you so much. Let me take this opportunity.
Yes. Okay.
motivational speaker. This morning you have actually boosted my ego, you have boosted my immune system.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
And that is very encouraging.
Thank you very much.
Yes, unemployment is a canker.
Yeah, yeah.
And all over the world, it is all about unemployment. And if it is unemployment, who are unemployed? It is the youth.
The youth, yeah.
It is the youth. And if you will recall, before John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency the President of the Republic, left power in 2016, then the unemployment rate in Ghana was 5.23%. But as at 2023, we have 14.7.
Yeah.
So you can see that we have actually grown in terms of unemployment rate in Ghana. And so one of the headache of the then candidate of the National Democratic Congress is how to create employment.
Okay.
So in his attempt to solve that problem, he planned to come up with an innovation, a program that will seek to actually not to just create jobs, but to create businesses.
Yeah.
So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has actually entrusted into NEP to help to create, to incubate at least 10,000 businesses every year.
New businesses.
New businesses. And even those that are already in place, but they are not functioning very well. Some businesses are there, but you see that they are not able to go into
they are in existence, but
not in a large scale. How do we skill them? How do we train new ones who have the ideas into businesses? And the idea is very simple. If we are creating 10,000 businesses every year, every business has the potential of employing at least 5 people.
So I'm not really interjecting, but creating 10,000 entrepreneurs to create new jobs that will employ at least, let's say, 5 people at a go. Wow.
That is the vision of the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Then the question is, how do we intend to do this? How do we intend to do this? We have 6 dramatic points. The implementation of this Ejumawura program.
Yeah.
Yes, and I must also say that the Ejumawura program actually will be launched on Monday, the 28th of April, by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in Kumasi here. Yes, we choose Kumasi because of the importance the President has actually placed on the people of Kumasi.
Okay.
And so he feels that we should bring it to the doorsteps of the people.
That is on Monday.
On Monday.
Where exactly will it?
It's going to be Prempe Sambo.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's actually at 2 o'clock the President will
okay. But so the specific goals of the Ejumawura policy, tackling that is youth unemployment in Ghana.
That's correct.
What are some of the people that can really enjoy this opportunity of Ejumawura project? Is it skilled workers, people with intellect? How?
The targeted group, we have divided the groups into 3. We have the alpha group, we have the beta, and we also have the gamma. The alpha group are those that have no education or just primary education.
Okay.
There are people who are out there without any formal education,
okay,
but they have the ideas. And the objective or the vision of the President is to be able to harness these people into putting them into entrepreneurship position where they can become entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So the word Ejumawura is...
So if you've never been to school before,
yes,
you can be part of this.
You can be part of it. Right. Because you have the idea. So what we are trying to do is that we are trying to get what we call, hubs, training hubs.
Yeah.
Across the So you have not gone you have never been to school, but you have the idea. We'll bring you on board, train you, give you the needed skills that will be able to help you to establish your business. That is actually the
So
Alpha Group.
3 people, the Alpha Group. Yes.
Then we also have the Beta Group. They are the people who have had the, let's say, GS or JHS and then SHS group.
Yeah.
They belong to the Beta Group, and then from the tertiary, then that will be the Gamma Group.
Okay.
And the idea for segregating these groups is that, you see, not all of them will need the same kind of training.
Yeah.
So we need to identify the groups, what they actually need in order for them to become robust, then we give that to them. And then so that you are not an employee, you are the Ejumawura yourself, you are the owner of the business.
Yeah.
We want people to own the businesses that they are doing, so that once you own it, you know that this is mine, let me make it work, let me make it sustainable.
Okay.
We are not coming to just create, but also make sure that what we have created is sustainable.
Okay.
So we are going to go with you in the journey of
Okay.
becoming successful.
Okay. We've spoken about the people that are part of this whole program. Now the sectors. Which sectors do the Ejumawura project really look at?
It cuts across all sectors of the economy. We are looking at agricultural sector, because there is the saying that the backbone of our economy is agri. How do we then develop this backbone? How do we people finish tertiary institutions and they are only interested looking for white collar job?
Yeah.
Is there anything we can do as a hub? Is there anything we can do as a program that will give that sense of agency, that will be lucrative enough for people who are coming out of the tertiary institution, to attract them into agriculture? And this is what we are looking at.
So,
and you know, mind you, the president himself is even into farming.
Okay.
Why so? He's trying to portray that picture to the people of Ghana that if you are a farmer, that does not mean you have not been to school. If you are a farmer, that does not mean that you cannot. Farming is actually an enterprise that if you are into, you can also become a better person.
I really would want us to go deep into these sectors, talking about agric, talking about, let's say, which sectors specifically, because I would want to find out from you. There have been previous programs of such where targeting unemployment, I mean, the youth, we had NAPCO coming in, we had, YEA is also a thing of its own, and then with this. So how different is this from the other youth unemployment initiatives taken to address the problem of youth unemployment? How different is it?
It may not be too different, but the concept and how we intend to implement this, that may be different. Because once the business you are into is legitimate, is legal, then we can help you to grow. It must be a legitimate business enterprise, then we can help you. It is immaterial in which sector of the economy you want to develop.
But we all know the problems that comes with, especially with NAPCO. I mean, after 3 years, it phased off. And then with YEA, there are lots of people, beneficiaries that come out to complain that really the initiative was to give us places to work. We are learning, we are getting skills, then get paid, but even the salaries do not really come. With this one, does it come with any allowance, any salary or anything? And what are its sustainable poles on which it can stand? Because you talked about the fact that it's a prolonged project that you are planning. And so how sustainable is this?
This is a powerful question. Very powerful question. Because we are not giving jobs to the youth. We are helping them to be the owners of
their own business. Okay.
That's the unique character of the Ejumawura product.
Okay.
As like other business or other
youth unemployment interventions,
where jobs to the people, we intend to actually make them the owners of the job. So you don't expect salary from us, but you will pay yourself.
Okay.
How do we intend to do that? The first thing we intend to do is actually to establish a robust business incubation ecosystem. A robust business incubation ecosystem.
Okay.
Meaning that we are going to have these hubs across country where they are going to involve in training people into what? Businesses. Now when we train you, it does not end there. There are people who after the training we are going to also give them funding.
Okay, startup
Capital.
All right.
Because it is important.
Yeah.
You may be trained.
I was going to come to that.
Yes, if you don't have the startup, it becomes problematic. And you know there are a lot of businesses also, after you've given them the startup, how to reinvest into their own business becomes a problem. People start thinking about changing cars.
Yeah.
People start thinking about diverting the monies they make into that into other sectors of the economy. And before you realize, the business is coming down. We are going to train them and let them know the importance of reinvesting into your business and making their business robust, so that at the end of the day you are able to employ more people.
And so you, the person giving the startup, you put that in your business, then employ a lot of people. Now, will there be some regulations, because government is giving you money, and so will there be regulations set up by government for you as the entrepreneur?
Like I said, it is not an event. It is a process. And throughout the process, we are going to be highly involved in that process, making sure that whatever we have started has become successful.
Okay.
So it is not a matter of bringing somebody for 6 weeks or 5 weeks to train that person, give him the money, he goes, and that is not all. There is a unit at NEIP which is into evaluation and monitoring. So even as we are giving you the startup, we are giving you the training, there is another component where we are going to monitor whatever you are going to do and evaluate on a timely basis to see whether or not what we have given to you, you are living according to it and you are going by the dictate of whatever we have given unto you to make sure that you become successful.
Most of the times it's like it's in our urban centers where we see most of these projects being effective, but with the alpha, beta, and all the people that the Ejimo Rural program targets, it seems everybody must be a part. And so how do we plan to inculcate people from the rural areas into this? Probably maybe I'm a young person, I graduated from the university, and I'm not in the city, I'm not in the urban center. So how do I also get involved in this whole?
The program is actually of a national character.
Okay.
And if I say it is of a national character, what I mean is that after the launch, we are also going to launch an app.
All right.
So it does not depend on whether you are in a city or in a village. Wherever you are in Ghana, you have the opportunity. And from today going, after the launch, is not going to be an event where after the launch it dies off.
Okay.
We are going to continue to make it a point to bring this information to the doorsteps of all Ghanaians, so they can take advantage of it. So we are going to continue the education. We are going to let every Ghanaian have the benefit of a Ejimo Rural program.
I'm a young person. I live in an area where internet access is very problematic. And yes, you're talking about online accessibility. So I may not have access to these online, how to really get into it. Will there be offices set up by NEP in the districts? Probably maybe that can be close by for me to walk to any of the offices to really speak with them.
Steps are actually underway. As it stands now, we are just a program and we are not yet an agency.
Okay.
And because of that, we are a bit limited in terms of establishment of offices in the regions and also the districts.
Okay.
But steps are far advanced in trying to send a bill to Parliament in order for the program to become an agency where we are going to actually bring offices to the doorsteps of the people of Ghana.
So
but as it stands now, what we intend doing is actually to have liaison officers all along
phases as an entrepreneur? What would I go through? Everything about it, from start to finish.
So after the launch, like I said earlier on, we are also going to launch the app.
Yeah.
Where we will expect all prospective business owners or those with the ideas actually to also apply on the app. And after the application, there is going to be a screening process, because we have to make sure that whoever we enroll on this program, that person has the capacity, that person has the knowledge, the innovation to go with us, right? So we will do that screening and actually get the people we will be training. Then out of the number we will be training, we will also have people we are also going to also give the startup, and then we take it in that phase. And we are also going to actually provide them with, it's like we are not going to just give anybody, like let's say somebody who has not gone to school.
Yeah.
We are, what kind of proposal are you going to give that person that will be able to use?
Yeah.
We are simplifying things, and it could be just one page document that has the ability to show the person what to do and when to.
So with the training, you're giving them how to go about their business. And if possible, if they need capital, you give them, yes, you inject that capital. Now let's talk about the business resource centers that was established in the past years. They also had the same idea of helping young people, giving them capital, but it ended up that people were giving the money, and some didn't have businesses. Others too complained that the capital giving was too small, that they really couldn't inject, it couldn't really do anything. Should we be assured that such things wouldn't happen? Because this taxpayers' money,
Yes, that's
will be given out. And so if it turns up to be that, yes, we are giving it out to party faithfuls, let's be honest with ourselves. There have been things like this have ever happened. I gave you an example that the business resource centers that were established by past government. Okay, we had people coming out getting money, and later they didn't even have businesses at all.
And that is why for us, we have taken it upon ourselves to screen. Like I said earlier on, you have to put the document there, and we are going to reduce as much as we can human interface. Going to make sure that it is a national program, and His Excellency has actually instructed that it is not about party people, but it is about Ghanaians. Are you a Ghanaian? That is the most important thing. Are you a youth? Another thing, once you are that, you are qualified.
It's not going to be on party line.
It is not going to be on a party line. It is not going to be. And you see, yes, in the past, what we have learned is that there is no part of the programs that we have mentorship. And one of the things we have actually brought on board is mentorship. We are going to have a system where there could be peer, those on the same line or the same group who have successfully done one thing or the other in terms of
to mentor
those people.
Now, the reason why I'm talking about the politicization, we know this country, everything about initiatives, we seems to politicize it. And so, can you really promise us and safeguard us that this program will not be politicized? Because immediately politics come into it, then mismanagement starts.
Yes, that is good. It is not all about taxpayers. It is also about our development partners. And we have other development partners who do not belong to any political party.
Yeah.
For instance, UNDP, World Bank, brings you money, use it to alleviate poverty from Ghana. At the end of the day, you must be able to give them information as to who and who you have channeled those monies to. And see, you must also give them timely report as to how that money has become beneficial. So it is not about the government of Ghana alone. It is about what our development partners. And these people are not, or these development partners are not people who are politicians, who are interested in maybe giving the money to NDC, food soldiers, or no, they are looking at how we will be able to alleviate poverty in Ghana. So you can be rest assured that these monies or this Jumaura will go for
spoke about, I was going to ask about funding and its sustainability, and you just mentioned the World Bank, and so um, we've also had government projects that were externally sourced, and after the external funds stopped coming, the program, everything about it started shaking. How can you assure us that yes, this program will be sustainable even after, let's say, the external funds do not come anymore?
The good news is that apart from the government of Ghana, we have
What is the main source of funding? Let me even find out.
the means, even in the budget that was presented, the president actually has allocated some funds. So the startup capital,
Government of Ghana.
yes,
Wow.
the startup capital is the government of Ghana. It is the initiative, a flagship initiative of his president, the president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. His aim is to help the youth get work to do. So he has dedicated funds for this project. And aside this, we are also making effort to bring development partners on board. So it is not all about maybe development partners. The first thing is that you see the commitment by the president to actually start something. So as to whether or not we are going to bring those development partners or not, the president has made commitment. So the program is actually the initiative of the president, and he wants it to work, and that is why he has made the commitment to bring in this money, so that as we are doing, we are as a program, we are looking for other sources of funding, so that even as president is saying, let's create at least 10,000 businesses. If we are able to get more, we can be able to create as much as we can for the good people of Ghana.
And just as I said earlier, this is money. Money will be going into people's pockets.
Yes.
And so monitoring is also key. Okay, monitoring is very, very key, because one thing that as a people we always neglect is monitoring and evaluation. So how will NEP monitor to see that the funds they are committing into this, the businesses, the money we are giving out, in fact, the people giving the money are putting it into it good use? Is there any monitoring mechanism?
My brother, like I said earlier on, we have a whole department for monitoring and evaluation
Under NEP. Okay.
And there is a very young, energetic director for that purpose. And this is a director who has robust knowledge. He has worked with these development agencies, and he has gotten what it takes to make sure that whoever monies are given or whoever is enrolled on this program is monitored to make sure that everything that is supposed to be done is done.
The reason why I'm asking this question, because most of the times, just as we said earlier, there have been initiative of such, but the feedback reports have been very bad. Yes,
we are very mindful of this.
Yeah,
very. Whatever we are doing at NEP, we are very intentional about it. Very, very intentional, because it is not about, we feel that it is not about excuses, it is about results.
Okay.
And so we have been very intentional in drafting this program and making sure that the vision of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is achieved at the end of the day. And His Excellency, this is more or less his term is a signature term. He needs to leave a legacy.
Of course.
Right? And so what kind of legacy can he leave that will linger in the minds of the people for a long period of time? And that is to create the businesses, sustainable businesses that will bring a lot of smiles, bring hope to the people. It's not about traveling to the urban cities. You can also be in your village and become the business owner that any other person in the urban city may be.
Critically, looking at unemployment, the situation is such that it's so alarming that young ones right after university, most of them are traveling. Okay, people are just leaving this country. Young men that can work to end Ghana, that development will need. The human resource, they are all leaving. And so when we talk about unemployment, it is something that we really need to look at. And so I think it's quite a good project. But What would you say to the young unemployed Ghanaian listening to us this morning? Yes.
So that there is hope coming. The past of hopelessness is gone. There is the opportunity for everybody. The time has come where
Ultimate
everyone
FM.
must be involved in becoming owner of a business. And that is why we name it Ejumawura. You are not an employee, you are the owner of the business. So whoever is listening to me this morning, wherever that person is listening to me from, he should have that confidence. He should have that hope that there is something for that person.
I'll be coming to the registration.
That's right.
But can the Ejumawura project really be the number one solution? Because he gave the statistics.
Yeah.
And so from a hoping around 7% to 14% is very alarming. And so if nothing is done about it, there's a likelihood it's going to rise.
Yeah.
And so can the Ejumawura project give solutions to the alarming problem of youth unemployment?
The Ejumawura program is the game changer. The program is actually the game changer. The Ejumawura program is actually the game changer.
Ultimate FM.
It is a program that is going to change a lot of things.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier on, it is not about job creation.
Yeah.
It is about business establishment.
Yeah.
So like those times where people are given jobs, pay you some amount of we are not looking at that one. We are looking at how we can actually create the business, make the people own it, then they will be able to now employ.
My last question, so that we'll just close for the day. I would want you to run us through how the person can register. I want to be a part of the program.
Fantastic.
The registration.
So the most important requirement is that you should have a business registration.
Okay.
So it is a requirement.
A business registration certificate.
All
right.
And that we will want, because we are, like you said earlier on, there were in the past a lot of programs where people were not actually having any business, but because he belongs to a political party, because he knows somebody at the top there, because he's a friend to a person at the office there, so he is able to maneuver himself and get a way through and get the money.
Yes.
We are not looking at that. We are trying to make sure that whoever gets the money is somebody who actually has the business.
Okay.
So you must have business registration. Then you upload that one. We take our time actually. We have the robust legal department at NEP, and we are going to go through the rudiment of making sure that whatever certificate that has been presented is also authentic, it's actually registered. Make sure that, and those that are registered but they don't even know how to even go about their businesses, we are going to help them.
Okay.
You know, there are people too who are like, you are even producing let's say Sobolo.
Yeah.
You want to get FDA registration. It is problematic.
Okay.
Where to start from, you don't know.
Okay.
We have a legal department under NEP. They are going to help you go through it. How do you also register with Standard Authority? We are going to help the people to go through that. So like I said, it is not going to be just
whole package.
It's a package.
All right.
And it is a system that we are also going to be very much involved and make sure that this is a success.
Well, if you're listening to me right here this morning on Ultimate 106.9, yes, it's all about NEP and Ejumawura. It is an initiative of His Excellency, the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama. And this morning I've been speaking with Mr. Raymond Bedima, and we've been speaking extensively about how you can get yourself a part of this whole program, the Ejumawura program, which will be happening live here in Kumasi on Monday. That is at the Prempeh Assembly Hall. That's the location. And so, okay, in wrapping up, in just a few minutes, tell us, the person coming, where should he come? When is the program starting? The time and everything about it on Monday?
The program starts at 1 p.m. on Monday, and we are expecting all people.
Okay.
Anyone who want to have a knowledge, anyone who want to be part of this program to be there. We are inviting everybody. But let me take the opportunity to say a very good morning to my CEO in the person of Eric Ajay.
Right.
the humble servant of NEP. His doors are always open to everyone.
Okay.
And any question you have to ask, I think our social media handles are there.
Okay.
You can ask any question that is bothering you, or how you do the registration. Everything is good. We are online, and we can be reached at any point in time. And also to say a very good morning to good people of Ghana.
All right. Thank you for doing the listening. The conversation still continues. Yeah, we're going for a break. Quick one. When we come back, the discussion still continues.
Ultimate
Well,
FM.
thank you for coming, Mr. Raymond. It's been nice having the discussion with you, and definitely on Monday, we'll be there to witness whatever is happening.
It's my pleasure being here.
From politicization, and I've already heard some commentaries of if you have not seen the petition and the content, which I have not seen, and he has also not seen, it would be very unfair to, as a matter of fact, describe persons who have, Council of State. I think we all know the composition of the Council of State. To suggest that they have poisoned, the system with a decision of merely saying that it's a case to be answered. No specific timeline, but the general understanding by legal, what the lawyers for reasonable, means that we should look at the extent of the allegations and also the number of witnesses that may be required, the volume of documents that may be analyzed, and all the things that to come to. But it shouldn't be a long process. And I think there's a general idea of how long someone may act in a position. For example, we know in the public service, there's a general rule that you shouldn't act beyond a certain number of months. I believe that if we go by that, we should be able to come to the conclusion not beyond what is usually considered reasonable for acting, which is, I think, 6 months or so. But of course, it could be shorter, depending on the nature of the allegation, the number of witnesses, even the nature of the defense that the Chief Justice will mount. These are all factors that are going to determine what is reasonable. So, but I think it's a governance issue, and we cannot live in a limbo for long.
Well, we are coming back right here, starting the second part of the show. And so, well, I've got with me Mr. Philip Danso Apeji. And he's always looking
Ultimate FM.
as wonderful as Friday. That Friday in Tufo. Yeah. How's everything?
Oh, everything is fine.
The weekends. How do you plan going about the weekends?
Nothing new. It's the same thing, of course. I hope to enjoy with my family and friends, of course. And especially when I watch TV and listen to news, that should be okay. Especially when I get to know what's going on in our country.
Yeah.
I hope and pray that things calm down and those who are angry and fighting, of course, will stop.
Yeah.
You find a way to stop them, of course. Otherwise, it can get out of hand.
Yes.
And
This
we
morning,
all want peace.
yeah. This morning we are talking about issues about the CJ and the brouhaha surrounding Akunta Mining, the seizure of their license and the fact that people see politicization as part of it. But let me go to Evangelist. Evangelist, Richard Pratt, good morning.
My boss,
Yeah,
good morning. How are you?
I'm fine.
We thank God. We thank God. This morning you started with your motivation,
Yes.
the song you played. Yeah. I learned you a pastor.
I am not an official pastor, but
Unofficial.
I lead the youth.
Oh, you are a youth pastor.
Yes.
Wow, you are a big man.
I've left office just recently, but I still.
You've
do
handed
church.
over.
Yes, but I still do church activity.
Charlie, you are a big man. You are a big man. We thank God for big men like you.
Oh,
It's an honor meeting you.
God.
And it's something I value. I truly appreciate. This morning, quickly, Psalm 4 verse 7. You have put more joy in my heart than they have when their grain and wine abound. As a child of God, what gives you joy? What inspires you? Is it based on material things or things divine? As a child of God, you need to be led by the Spirit and the Word of God. So if I say I have joy, it's not based on the car I drive or the business I do or the money I have in my bank account, but because I have God who knows it all and has it all. Those in the world, when their grain abound, they see business doing well, they are building mansions, that is what gives them joy. It's good, we praise God. But child of God, let God and His Word give you joy. The rest, these things, according to Matthew 6:33, they will surely follow. Good morning.
Yes, of course. As always, yes. But time is fast spent, so I would want us to go straight to our discussions.
Let's zoom.
Yes, let's zoom straight into the discussions. We all know what's happening. There are a lot of noise that have been made about the removal of the Chief Justice. And just if we don't know or if we know, there have been a replacement, which we know. And so, I mean, they're just outgone. Or they've gone CJ.
I wouldn't say that.
No, but there have been a replacement.
But the replacement hasn't ended yet.
Well,
He's been suspended. It doesn't mean he's been
Ghana
replaced.
as we are.
Okay.
I mean, to have a comeback, well, we all know the impossibility is higher than its possibility. But, in fact, in your widest imagination, did you ever see this? Well, there were a lot of noise that had been made about the removal of the CJ.
Ultimate FM.
The charges that were leveled against her. Do you think these charges duly warrant the removal of a Chief Justice? Because it's like, currently what's happening is that all people that had cover with the Constitution covering them, that government or head of states couldn't really interfere in their duties and could not have really hands, they've been fingered upon. And the NDC makes claims of, yes, the MPP did same with the Electoral Commissioner at the time. And so, if we do same here with CJ, and so, well, the Constitution is giving you that mandate. But it's like, whatever protected these offices, it's been wiped off. They are being peeled off gradually. Listening to the back and forth, do you think these accusations and everything about it really warrants
Ultimate
SCG
FM.
being asked to step down?
Well, she's not been asked to step down. They're following the due process.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look, there's one thing about law. When you are interpreting, in fact, when the judges are interpreting the law, ordinarily they will go for what they call the literal interpretation of the law. Look at the ordinary meaning of the words. And if they don't lead to absurdity, then you stick to the plain meaning of it, the original meaning, so to speak, the additional meaning of the words. But when the literal interpretation is going to lead to some absurdity, that's where they go beyond it and go to maybe the spirit of the law. So in effect, they'll be looking at the golden rule. But the golden rule, the application of the golden rule only coming when the interpretation of the literal words will lead to absurdity. But in this particular case, the law is pretty clear. The language is pretty clear. If the president receives petitions, if he receives petitions from people, that the CJ must be removed. Of course, he's going to study it, and then you forward it to the Council of State for advice.
Ultimate FM.
Of course, advice can be accepted or rejected. But after the advice is given, he has the option, in fact, he has the authority to set up a committee to study it, to investigate it, and of course to give some recommendation. Except that when this committee is put up and when it is set up, whatever recommendation they give afterwards is binding, and that the president will have to go by it. But the fact is that the president is acting within the law. He's acting within the confines of the law. The same way NBP, when Akufo was in charge and the electoral commissioner was removed, Charlotte was removed. They acted in accordance with the law. But the fact is that you can always get people to petition. That's one thing. Aside the fact that we're dealing with the law, you're also talking politics. If you really want to do politics, you can almost always get somebody to petition the president. All you have to do is go and, motivate somebody. It could be somebody who doesn't even know anything about the law. It still doesn't matter. Somebody can write for him, of course. And so the idea of petitioning the president is something that can be political. I must be honest. But that aside, beyond that, we're acting in accordance with the law. But the one thing you must notice is this. Of course, legal philosophers talk about a good number of these. Some of these things. You will pick one for this, one particular philosopher called Mark Tashnet. He talks about the cause constitutional hardball. We have political norms that we are supposed to respect. We have principles that we are supposed to respect. The basic tenets that underpin a democracy. But not all of them are in the Constitution. As long as they are not enshrined in the Constitution, they are not binding on the president. But ordinarily, we expect that the president respects such norms, such basic norms, such principles, such conventions, especially because they've been established over the period, and people have come to accept them as normal. Don't touch the CG. It's normal. It's considered to be a tradition. Don't dismiss the CG. But when the Constitution gives you the mandate to do that, you can always go ahead and do it. But the problem is this: when you use the letter of the law, you interpret the ordinary meaning of the law, you can almost always interpret it to undermine the spirit of the law. And the spirit is that the CG, the judiciary, must be independent. In fact, the thinking is that all the arms of government must be independent from one another. So we talk of separation of powers. And the only time you can have proper checks and balances is when you have separation of powers. Not total separation though, but at least there might be some degree of autonomy that each organ of government must have. That notwithstanding, the president is acting in accordance with the law. Aside of course, there's a political twist. And I particularly get worried when people keep saying that, well, he's doing the wrong thing. What he's doing is not in accordance with the law. You can say he's doing the wrong thing, but the fact is that he's acting constitutionally. Except that I said earlier, you can almost always interpret the letter of the law to undermine the spirit. Give them autonomy. Let them enjoy some degree of autonomy, a reasonable degree. But at the same time, you can use the political process to undermine their autonomy.
But I'm sure you've heard the noise that have been made that, yes, it seems to be like tit for tat. You did this, and so we are also doing same.
Really? And they were acting according to
Yes,
the law.
because there are arguments that, okay, you removed the electoral commissioner. And so that's the noise.
Exactly.
That you remove the electoral commissioner. And so in that same manner, the power that vested in the president at the time to do that would also give that same power to His Excellency, the current president, John Dramani Mahama, to do so.
And I hope you can see clearly that there's something wrong with our constitution. In fact, a good number of legal scholars in Ghana have complained time and again. Not only legal scholars, a good number of people have complained time and again that there's something wrong with our constitution. If the constitution allowed the president to exercise such enormous amount of powers, extensive amount of powers, that would mean that literally he can control every institution in Ghana. That's why time and again people have complained that the president that we have in our country, the president that is established, the president that is established by the constitution, is more or less like a hegemonic presidency, more or less like a dictatorship.
Yeah.
Because once he takes over, he has literally every
Ultimate
power to do
FM.
whatever he wants. But the fact is this: in as much as you have the power to exercise or to do certain things, it's not everything that you must do, even though the constitution allows you to do.
Yeah.
But when you do such things or certain things, it undermines. They may undermine the independence and the autonomy of certain institutions, and that will puncture public confidence in certain institutions. But let me read you a particular article. This is Article 146. They've been talking about it time and again.
Yeah.
And I've particularly heard people, especially lawyers, a good number of lawyers, they talk about it. You may be politically inclined, so I understand. But the fact is that when you're talking law, you read the constitution. If it is stated there plainly, then you cannot really question it. If you read Article 146 clause, Article 146 clause 9, the president, let me start with clause 8. All proceedings under this article shall be held in camera, and the justice or the chairman against whom the petition is made is entitled to be heard in his defense by himself or by a lawyer. By himself or by a lawyer or other expert of his choice. Of course, when the committee sits, the chief judge will be given the opportunity to defend herself. And she can bring any lawyer at all that she wants to defend her. And that, of course, will be held in camera. And then the 9 says, the president shall, in each case, act in accordance with the recommendations of the committee. And that's the danger. That's where the danger is. Because as long as this committee recommends, the president has no option but to go by the recommendations of the committee. And there's a high possibility that, of course, they will recommend that the CJ must be removed. And that's the point. Anyway, when we go to the 10, it says, the president, where a petition has been referred to a committee under this article, the president may.
Conditional.
Exactly. Not necessarily conditional, but optional. It's optional for him. It may, in the case of the Chief Justice, acting in accordance with the advice of the Council of State, by warrant signed by him, suspend the Chief Justice.
So it's automatic.
But it is optional. So when the president suspends the Chief Justice, he's acting in accordance with the law. He's not violating any law. He has not flouted any law. The law says he may. And he can decide to do it, he can decide not to do it. The same way the Constitution gives the president the discretion to decide whether to accept the advice of the Council of State or to reject it. So you certainly cannot blame the president if he decides to go for the option that says, well, I'm suspending him. And once he suspends, I'm suspending her. And once he suspends her, of course, the most senior on the bench takes over. So he's acting in accordance with the law. But then again, there's always going to be a political twist. The fact that we are getting the CG off. Okay. You're getting her out of power, out of office, so that somebody else takes over. And the thinking is that somebody else is going to take over from the CG. The current Chief Justice is likely to be inclined towards NDC. And then they can extrapolate further and say, well, in that case, the next person who's going to be booted out of office will be the electoral commissioner.
Bafuboni have had a bounce.
Okay.
Affiliating to NPP or NDC. You know, it was His Excellency, former President J. Kufuor, that gave him the opportunity to serve at the Supreme Court.
You cannot always say that and once you are appointed by a president, it means you are a member of that party. You can't say that. Because when the vacancy is there, when there's a vacancy in in the Supreme Court, it must be filled. And the sitting president has that authority to fill it.
Yes.
So we cannot say that when you are appointed during the regime of Rawlings, during the regime of Mahama or Mills or Kufuor, it means you are affiliated. You are not.
Yes. And
That's why they are trained and they are supposed to be acting professional.
And later there was a turnaround with the Supreme Court's the petition, the presidential 2012 election.
That argument to me is a non-starter. Look, the point is this: when you present the case, when you file a case in the court of law, the judges are well trained, they are legal-minded, they are lawyers
Ultimate
first and foremost, and then of course they have this training to be fair-minded. So it doesn't matter whether you belong to a party that they like or a party that they don't like. The fact is that they work with the case, they work based on the law. And that's why you go to the court of law, you present your evidence, concrete evidence, of course, verifiable evidence. You want to produce all the evidence in the court of law, and they weigh the evidence. And based on the evidence that they weigh, and of course the law, they see that a particular evidence is weightier than yours. And that evidence is more believable, more admissible. Obviously, they go for that. In the court of law, they don't admit every evidence you present. They have a definition of what is admissible evidence and what is an inadmissible evidence.
Okay.
And they're able to adduce evidence to back your claim, to substantiate your claim. And they come to the conclusion that based on the evidence presented, based on the testimonies presented, and based on the law, Mr. A has won. Mr. B has lost the case. The one that loses the case cannot make the argument that, well, it is because the judges are biased. And if they voted for the opposition party, it means they are biased. I mean, why would you say that?
Let me go
It's
to
based on the
Vangelis.
evidence.
Yeah.
If you have anything at all, you go for an appeal. Period. Otherwise, you keep quiet and move on. Because when you go to the court of law, it is either you win the case or you lose. It's a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
It's a win-lose situation. It's not a win-win situation where you have a draw, so to speak. It doesn't happen like that in
There
the
can
court of law.
never be a stalemate in a
Exactly.
process. And
It's not in parliament where you can have a political deadlock. It doesn't happen in the court of law.
Yeah.
You either win or you lose.
You lose.
Period.
Yeah.
Unless otherwise you want to go for mediation or negotiation. In that case, you're going to talk about interest.
Yeah.
But when you go to the court of law, it's about right-based. Produce evidence.
evidence you give.
The evidence must jibe with the reality on the ground.
Yes, yes.
And if they come to the conclusion that based on the evidence that is presented, you are guilty. Period.
Yeah.
You have any doubt at all, go to a higher court for a kind of appeal.
Court is all about evidence. But
Exactly.
Evangelist,
My brother.
is it that the NDC is
Ultimate
just
FM.
all out to kick out the Chief Justice? Or because if you hear the noise that have been made, oh yes, the Chief Justice must go. They are packing the Supreme Court with their party people. There've been a lot of noise that have been made. Party people speaking. So, is it that even before they assumed office, it was there that the Chief Justice must go, the Electoral Commissioner will go? Yes, because, well, the Electoral Commissioner issue hasn't come yet, so we are not going into that. But with the Chief
But once
Justice,
they are done with this process, the fear is that you must start that process.
Evangelist.
Thank you, my brother. Oh, let me use this opportunity to wish Obapa Ajua Letitia a happy birthday. And my prayer for you, Obapa, is that the good Lord will grant you more years full of life, full of happiness and strength. God bless you, Obapa. Happy birthday. Papa Ro.
Yeah.
Very interesting times we find ourselves in. Now, permit me to start with some few questions. It may be rhetorical, but something we need to ponder upon. Why is the NPP so worried about this constitutional process taking place now? Why? It appears that all those who have something to say and they are worried, they are all from this UP tradition. Why? Then the question I ask is,
So, are there not just Ghanaians that are neutrals that have really spoken against this action taken by the NDC?
neutrals, personally sitting here, I don't believe in neutrality. I believe in fairness. Take a stand. I'll be fair with you. I will take a stand any day. I may be wrong. I will admit. But I don't believe in those who are like, they confuse people. Neutrals for me are cowards. So that's the first question. The second one is, what article or clause in the 1992 Constitution has the president breached? What article or clause? Now, they will push further and say that there's something wrong with the 1992 Constitution. I said there's something wrong with it. But honestly, those who think there's something wrong with the 1992 Constitution, I think God has been fair to them from 1992 up until now. They have had 16 years. 16 years. President Kufuor did 8 years, Nana Addo Dankwa did 8 years. There was something wrong with the Constitution. Why didn't they amend it as they have the power? This same Constitution
is the same story. It's the same story we've had with this fourth Republican Constitution. That every party that comes into power enjoys it. They complain, but when they go back,
when they are in opposition, they see something wrong. When they are in power, it's all good. Yes.
Even the NDC.
Yes. But you can see that all the amendments that has taken place so far, which government has ensured that? Professor Mills commissioned a committee or commission to review the Constitution. Yes, they are right to say that the white paper came when President John Dramani Mahama had taken over. Why didn't he implement them on all that? Now, President Akufo-Addo, in opposition, saw everything wrong with the Constitution and was like, when they were given power, 8 years, not even one clause did they change. They came and enjoyed the power that it gives. Yes, I must admit the 1992 Constitution gives the president so much power. Yes. But if today we are talking about something being wrong with the 1992, they had the opportunity. Why didn't they amend it? Now, let's go into the article that gives the president that power. Article 146. The subheading is removal of justices of superior courts and chairmen of the regional tribunals. Clause 1. A justice of the Supreme Court or chairman of the regional tribunal shall not be removed from office except for stated misbehavior. 1. Stated misbehavior. So it's not enough to say the person is misbehaving. Or incompetence. I just watched a video this morning when the suspended Chief Justice this morning met a group and she was saying people are asking her a question. I think there were issues that were coming up. We saw it coming. And she was motivating people. She said what she knows. She's competent. And competence based on law. And she was happy. And people were clapping for her. Yes. All the applause. Now it continues. All on ground of inability to perform the functions of his office arising from infirmity or of the body or mind. So when the person has issue with the health or mind. Let's do clause 2. A justice of the Superior Court of Judicature or chairman of the regional tribunal may only be removed in accordance with the procedure specified in this article. So you can touch them when there's something with regards to what is mentioned here in this article. And let's do the 3. If the president receives a petition for the removal of a justice of the Superior Court, other than the Chief Justice, or for the removal of the chairman of the regional tribunal, he shall refer the petition to the Chief Justice, who shall determine whether there is a prima facie case here. Now underline. I'm happy this one has come here. Prima facie.
Now, is it that the Constitution, yes, is giving the power to the executive to execute this? But you know very well that when the establishment of this fourth Republican Constitution, we had something, a wall, guiding these people, talking about their removal. But it's like it has become so common in recent times. And I know very well that with this happening, there are people losing their shoes to also do same. There will be petitions that will be received concerning our current electoral commissioner very soon.
Yes.
Is it?
You started your question by talking about a wall, right? That wall, they get it from the constitution.
Yeah.
That protects them. This same constitution also provides a way of.
And I'm saying that the
Yes.
fact that is giving that opportunity, should we always abuse that power?
So where does the abuse come in here?
No, because it's like,
Where does
then
the abuse come in?
look, if there's change of government today, okay, we all know that the New Patriotic Party will also come in with a different argument.
Oh,
to say
wow.
that, oh yeah.
I didn't know you were a prophet. Somebody told me you were a preacher as well.
No, but
Are we not going into areas that we've not got into? Now you are talking about the MPP also coming, and you know when they come, they will touch who they want.
we
With the
smell something
constitution,
like that.
you can smell it. How many years does the MPP have to come to power?
Well, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know
prophet,
what future
go
holds.
deeper.
I don't know what
Prophet,
future
please.
holds, but the way we are just bouncing the ball,
Oh,
it goes
Charlie.
and comes.
Charlie. Yes. So you can, for the sake of history, you can say, so far what we have, the MPP will be in opposition for 8 years. That's for history's sake.
Whatever.
So after
Whether
8 years, when they come, this is what they will do. Now, let's go back not too far into time. The MPP said during their campaign that they will remove Charlotte Osei. Charlotte Osei also, the EC boss, also has the same role from this constitution and a way of removing them. The NCCE, you remember Loretta Lamte, under President Mahama. President Mahama received a petition and she was removed because there was a prima facie case
Now,
which was proven to be so.
Evangelist, you
Yes,
know very
boss.
well that
Yes.
with the issue of the electoral commission, it quite differs from this one.
Yes.
Look, the
Why
electoral
do
commission.
people say
No,
it's
I'm
different?
coming. I'm building my
It's
argument.
all from
I'm
this
building my
constitution.
argument.
Their
I'm building my
article, their
argument.
numbers may be different. I agree.
My question is,
Yes.
the reason why I still stand by
Yes.
a difference
Stand there.
is that
Stand there.
you know
Uh-huh.
that at the time, even there were workers working with
Yes,
Charlotte
yes, yes,
that had
yes.
problems with him.
She had her deputies.
Deputies come
throwing
out.
words at each. Yes, yes,
openly.
yes. Was that enough to remove her? Or her removal was based on the 1992 constitution?
Yes, you are then champion so be catch you say whatever.
Okay, so
whatever.
now
the-
with
the-
this
the-
proverb, okay.
The removal of the
Charlotte,
electoral commission,
okay.
Charlotte to say, it cannot be based on hearsay or based on what the deputy
Good.
says. It should be based on the law.
Good. So based on the law.
Competence.
Good competence. And who defines what is competence and what is not? You see?
And
Yes.
stated misconduct.
Stated
It's not- it cannot
misconduct.
be that somebody
Now,
Yes, the misconduct was built as a result of what was said.
But you can
Okay.
always find some
Can
degree of
I
misconduct.
can
Please go
I
ahead.
continue?
Oh, of
Let's
course.
not deviate. I just
course.
stated.
Oh, yes,
I've
yes.
stated the issue
Yes,
of
yes.
an NCC
Yes,
boss who
yes.
was removed based on the law. EC boss who has been based on the law. Now CJ for the first time. Right? That's why we are here. Now let's move to Article 146.6.
Kwame Nkrumah removed Say Akoko Sase.
Okay.
The second time.
Good. So there's even precedence. Good. Article 146 clause 6 says, when the petition is for the removal of the Chief Justice, the President shall, did I hear somebody say me? Shall, acting in consultation with the Council of State. So the President didn't do it alone, but in consultation with the Council of State, appoint a committee consisting of 2 justices of the Supreme Court, one of whom shall be appointed chairman by the President, and 3 other persons who are not members of the Council of State, nor members of Parliament, nor lawyers. These must be lay people. This has been done according to the Constitution. You can read further what the committee will do. So we are here because a certain group professors and all that, has been able to quote an article or a clause in the 1992 Constitution which the president has broken. They can talk, put all the grammars together more than the queen who owns the English, or the king. Now we have a king who is not feeling well. We wish him a speedy recovery. Hey, and the Pope, may his soul rest in peace. All right? So with all that, you ask them, give me one article. Yesterday I listened to my sister, the former Deputy Attorney General, Asunaba Dapa. She's a sister. I listened to her. She went on for nearly 20 minutes. Not a single article did my sister quote that the president has breached. No. The CJ has been suspended according to law. She has not been fired. What we have today, because the Constitution takes care of that vacuum, there should not be a vacuum. There's an acting Chief Justice, Bafubani. He is acting. Right. And can you imagine without somebody acting and we say, we are investigating you, we are taking you through this process according to the Constitution, according to law, but still be the Chief Justice? No. She must step aside. With all the petition that has come today, it's public knowledge. It's on the net. All those against you may think go through. Somebody, a police officer said, she spoke to him in a manner. For him, he feels by that act she must be removed. The committee will go through it. If there's merit or not, they will tell us at the end of the day. There's also the allegation that she traveled with the husband and the daughter. Per the law, when a Chief Justice is having a private travel, the law recommends that she goes with one person who will be more like a bodyguard to go and protect her. Even though she's going to do her private thing, she's still, or he is still a Chief Justice and must be protected.
Well,
and that is the person and herself or himself, the Constitution or the state will take care of.
We're wrapping up because I would want us to go into the accountability.
So in wrapping up, with all that is being said, we are learning. Let us ask them, those who think it's wrong, let us ask them, has the president breached any law? The moment you ask them, you have ended the debate. There is no debate. Thank you.
Well, okay.
There is something I would like to say. Okay. You cited the example of Kwame Nkrumah, who dismissed the then Chief Justice Ako Kosa. You got to compare Nkrumah to the presidents in the Fourth Republic, because Nkrumah, of course, based on what he did, was a dictator. And so you don't liken a dictator to a
That's not my Nkrumah.
You cannot liken a dictator, somebody who established a one-party state and established and abolished all opposition parties.
And even jailed J.B. Danquah. J.B. Danquah.
He died. Of course,
and he died. J.B. Danquah.
You can even jail people, except that you give them fair trial. Fair and open trial, but he was detained under PD without any trial, and of course he died. And so for such person, you can't really compare him to the leaders of today, because the leaders of today, of course, they allowed the opposition to run. And it's even the constitution that the Parliament of Ghana today is forbidden. It's denied the power to ever establish a one-party state, and that's because of the tradition that we know. What happened under Nkrumah? So Nkrumah cannot be an example in this particular case. The fact is that the Fourth Republic is an entirely new republic, and you have to chart our own course. Except that when some of these things happen, like Evangelist said, the president has not breached any law. He has not disrespected any law in the constitution, except that we have a political twist to it, and that's where the problem is. The fact that the president, of course, can get the Chief Justice out of office presupposes that the office then, in a way, does not come with that kind of autonomy and independence. And that's where the problem will come from. Of course, once you have a new party in charge, or suppose a new party takes over sometime later, they may also be motivated to go after the one who was put there by the previous regime. And that's the thinking. But if you indeed want to establish institutions with the strength, with the power, with the authority to be able to do their work without fear or favor, then we should be able to this, in fact, take away some of the powers of the president so that such institutions will be protected by law. Otherwise, when the president decides to remove the electoral commissioner or the chief justice or the chair of the commission of human rights, he will be acting according to the law. Except that they can always be politically motivated, and that's where the problem lies. And of course, if MPP and NDC are trading accusations, they're all afraid of each other, and they're all capable of doing the same thing. That's how come they're all trading accusations. But Nkrumah should not be cited as an example in the Fourth Republic, because they're talking about Democrats.
Well, that is it. Of course, such every Friday, I tell you, we always have insight. But we are going straight into the issue that is also making a lot of news and talking about Akonta mining. And that, in fact, Andy Apiakubi, who happens to be the personal assistant to the Ashanti regional chairman of the MPP, who is the owner of Akonta Mining, have been speaking. I would want us to take a listen to him and then later zoom into our second discussion.
My instruction is to go
FM.
First part is to challenge the purported instruction to revoke the license of Akonta Mining, and also to seek an injunction to restrain them from acting or taking any decision that will affect the interests of Akonta Mining Company, and also file a defamation action for the statements made against the integrity of the company and its directors. We have not been in touch with Lands Commission, and they have not also made any contact to the company, either by the chief executive or its directors. So our instructions still stand that we bring an action against the company, against the government of Ghana, and also the Minister of State, and seek also remedies that are available to us, and also seek to injunct the Minerals Commission and the Minister of State. Yeah, the Attorney General's office has always been the same Attorney General's office, except the change in personnel. So if anybody petitioned that office, we as Akonta Mining, we don't have any control over the judicial process. It is the Attorney General who supervises the so-called judicial process. If there is a petition before Attorney General, Attorney General will normally prosecute a matter if it has enough evidence to sustain the prosecution. So it is not the case that any petition filed with the Attorney General will trigger a prosecution process. But we have always maintained the position that Akonta Mining has not sponsored anybody into any forest area in Ghana. Neither has Akonta Mining itself undertaken any prospecting or mining activities in the forest areas. So if there are information or there are allegations of persons mining in the forest areas, they can exercise the mandate of the arrest and prosecution of such culprits, but definitely not people associated with Akonta Mining.
Well, let me make this quick correction. That was the voice of former Honorable Member of Parliament for Asante Achim Abu. That's Andy Apiakubi, who happens to be lawyer for the Akonta Mining. And so he has been speaking, and that's it. We will be zooming straight into our discussions. In fact, Evangelist
Senior,
the Galamsey fight.
yes.
His Excellency promised to fight, to really work on that as to how to really deal with Galamsey. Is the Galamsey fight taking a new shape?
Now I can sleep in peace because I know there's a fight. His
the
Excellency.
previous actions that were taken by previous governments were not fight, right?
No, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has put up a good fight.
Wow. Okay.
The past 8 years, what we saw under Nana Addo wasn't a fight. In fact, it was a policy
Ultimate FM.
that they decided to take all the resources of this land for only a few of them. I can give you this to back what I'm saying. When Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo won power in 2017, 2016, 2015, 2014, even under Professor Mills, there was a fight. I live in Inshiasu here. There's so much Chinese that came in, and under Professor Mills, many of them who were into this illegal mining were deported. Many of them were deported. Those who know the story, they know. You can even Google and find it. And then His Excellency John Dramani Mahama continued. I remember there was a company called, it had some Chinese name. That also belonged to Chamawun to me.
Ultimate FM.
Something mining. Hansong mining.
Hansong.
Yes. That also belonged to Chamawun to me.
Hey, please.
That were excavators and some of their machines were bent under His Excellency. What did you say, please? It's public knowledge. I will not say what I don't know.
Okay.
We've been in this business for long.
Okay.
And then, during the era of Nana Addo Dankwa, we saw the media then coming out, saying no to Galamsey, ban illegal mining and all that.
But Evangelist, I mean, when the MPP assumed office in 2017, we could clearly see that, yes, the fight was intense. Just that probably maybe the action and how it started brought the whole program into a failure.
What you may term fight under Nana Addo was a scam. There was no fight. In fact, when the media started their campaign, quickly they jumped on it and decided to run with it. So they set up Operation Galam Stop and all those with the military and all that. They gave them a huge budget to buy drones and all that. It was a whole scam. Then Anas came out with an expose that we saw some regional chairman. The whole thing, it's on YouTube. Anas Galamsey expose. That was why we had party Yesika to wait. The party needs money, and they were sharing concessions. Anas went undercover, and many of them is there. Some of them I used to be in the gym with them. Young boys, they were all caught MPP boys. Now, if that is not enough, Professor Frimpong Boateng also did his work because he was in charge of environment as a minister. And then brought a report in 2021, gave it to the former chief of staff, Honorable Frema Opare. According to Professor Frimpong Boateng, he finished the report and handed over to the woman in 2021. 2023, Prof came out and said he did not see anything being done. So he brought the report out. It's also in the public. And we know, according to him, he said from the Flagstaff House to the polling station, it was the MPP executives who were involved in this. Some of them sued him. Those whose names were sued him. What was done? And then, Erastus Asaridonko. I salute my brother. I've worked with him. He was the former news editor when I was with Capital Radio, Kojumafu and all. We were all there. Way back. Look at the job this gentleman has done. Now he is receiving awards all over global for his fight. He has been threatened. He has been kidnapped before under the MPP regime. Kennedy Akompro threatened him with all this. When the NDC came into office, you can see the consistency on the part of Erastus. What the NDC done? We are fighting it. You could see now that there is a fight. Where we have gone wrong, Erastus has been clear and hard on us. where we have done well, he has commended. Not too long ago, there was this area in the western region, a whole forest, about a population of 10,000. In the middle of the forest, what were they doing? You may think it was a village. No. They were all galamseyers, illegal miners. They are selling drugs. We have wiped out that village. All their structures have been, many have been picked up. We have set up this blue water guards. Some are making fun of it.
With the blue water guards.
Yes.
We've had the military visit.
Yes, with guns and all that. They could not and all that. What would these young boys do? Boys and girls. This is it. The intention of the blue water guards formation is not that we will give them guns and bombs to go and be bombing and be fighting. No. Theirs is more like whistle blowing. These are young men in that area, mining areas, who have been trained that when you see something wrong with regards to our river bodies and all that, just call those agencies responsible for the fight. That is their duty. So people ridiculing them. I've been, per the nature of my work, I've been to mining areas.
Yeah.
And when you are driving through the town, you see small boys and girls. When they see any sign of a stranger in the village, they run quickly and make calls. Same, when they see these military people and coming into the town, it is those small boys and girls you meet, they will call the miners. By the time you get into the area, they are gone.
Yeah.
They are whistle blowers, but not for genuine reason. Do you understand?
So they'll be giving feedback as to what is happening.
They have been told, don't go and fight anybody. You just call the law enforcement agency. That is their duty. So, Akonta Mining, to it, let me land on this. Today, we see that the license of Akonta Mining Company Limited, they had license to mine. But you see, having a license doesn't mean you have a license to do illegalities. Under the MPP, Erastus Asaredonko came out with this same Akonta Mining that they have entered a reserve in Semraboy, Western region. President Akufo-Addo came publicly and said, when he was asked by Ken Ashigbe, in Koforidua about Akonta Mining entering Semraboy, President then said, as he was speaking, Akonta Mining was not in the forest. It was tricky. That statement was very tricky and technical. As the president was speaking, yes, Akonta Mining had left the forest. But the president could not tell us that Akonta Mining had illegally entered or not.
As to what
that is him. Me, I know him. So today we have a President John Dramani Maham, under whose watch Akonta Mining, who has a license to do legal mining but has breached, entered into concessions and areas he doesn't have license to. His license has been revoked. Today as we speak, his account has been frozen by the FIC. And I salute the new boss. He's also Boafo. He's also Chum Boafo. Yes. I salute him for that courage. At a point, people thought some people, you can't touch them.
They have power.
They are so powerful. Today, we are touching them. We are going after the sponsors. We are going after the financiers.
Let me go to...
When you have a party chairman who will come and sit on TV and be showing gold, when you talk of money, it is solid gold, provoking us,
please.
Destroying our forest and our river bodies.
Please.
What have I said wrong?
Wrap up for
okay, so in wrapping up, Chairman Wontumi, who is the owner of Akonta Mining, Chairman Wontumi is the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the MPP. At a point in time, he was untouchable.
You are giving specifics,
yes.
Giving true descriptions. Okay.
I salute the government. They have put up a good fight, and we must fight this because when the last tree dies,
the last man dies.
Whoever destroys your water they say is life, destroys your life. Let me land on this. LI 2462 will be revoked when Parliament resumes. Somebody will ask, what is LI 24? President Akufo-Addo brought this legislative instrument that gave people power to enter our forest reserve. Today, as we speak, 43 of our forest reserves are gone. We used to have around 183. Now 43 are gone under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So I salute you for not voting for the MPP. Let them stay in opposition. That's where they belong.
I'm even short of words.
No, go on.
But we all know, just as we said earlier, there have been noise. The MPP assumed office in 2017. There was a lot of noise. The NDC coming, within first 3 months, yes, we are fighting. There are a lot of press conferences being organized. We are really fighting against illegal mining, but nobody have been taken to court yet. This fight, is it just that somebody may say it's just political hunt, as in going for people that are not part of us? Because there have also been claims that there are strong members in the NDC that have also started this whole Galamsey business. These accusations are coming up.
It's a tough fight. It is a very tough, in fact, it's an uphill battle. If you consider that when Akufo-Addo took over in 2017, when he took over in January 2017, somewhere in June or so, he imposed a blanket ban on small-scale mining.
Kick out.
And a good number of people were angry. Well, some people genuinely had a license to operate, and yet there was a blanket ban, so they all had to go home.
Yes.
Afterwards, you saw what happened. In the 2020 election, he nearly lost.
He put his presidency on the line, and after everything, considering what happened.
The moment you give that indication that you have put your presidency on the line and that you are prepared to fight it, in fact, do everything to eradicate it, and yet it gets to a point that you literally recoil, you literally back out. It tells you in a way you've been defeated by the Galamseyers. And so after the 2020 election, especially when NPP lost massively in most of the mining communities, the president literally lost interest in it. That's how people complained and they demonstrated, and yet he wouldn't listen. And I remember we discussed, we talked about this time and again before the election. I indicated that, look, the heat is on precisely because of the election. But once you're going to vote, everything must be talked about, because it can undercut somebody's fortunes. And of course, it can also help somebody in the election. And it did help, in a way. It helped especially the opposition party, and of course, now Yapen is in charge. The fight is an uphill battle. It is not an easy battle, of course. You remember what the regional minister said, Honorable Makohene. When he took over, he said he has given them an order, I think
2 weeks.
2 weeks, exactly. 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, have we heard him talking about it?
No.
He wouldn't. He wouldn't, because they can't fight them within 2 weeks. I hope that becomes a political statement. And there is something that cuts across both divide, both political parties. But I watched this.
Mr. PJ, yes, you've really reminded us of that ultimatum that was given.
It has expired. And he hasn't talked about it again. Of course, we are talking about Ashanti First now, so why would you be talking about it? But the point is this: when you give an indication that you're going to fight it, I must be honest, you must be very much aware that the fight is not going to be very easy. It's going to be very tough.
Yeah.
So you can't fight it within 2 weeks. But I watched Honorable Emmanuel Amakufibua, the minister
in charge of
the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. He's a nice man, of course. He's been around. I understand he has gone around, and he has gone to so many places, and so he has a first-hand kind of experience, a first kind of knowledge about what is going on in our forest, how they have destroyed the forest, the virgin forest, so to speak. And I'm particularly worried, really, if we take forest reserves, how is it possible that we can give people the authorization to mine in a forest reserve? That to me, it doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't. When ordinarily we know for certain that some part of our vegetation must be preserved for posterity, to give us some fresh air, and yet we give the authorization to people to go out there and dig for gold. That would mean, in effect, because of money, you have destroyed the entire vegetation. That's not proper. But I watched this Honorable Kufibua, and he literally cried. I was shocked that you are in charge. If you are crying, that means, in a way, you're so much hurt. You didn't know that this existed. When all along you've been seeing videos.
Shedding tears.
That means you're really shaking. in a way you're a bit afraid.
But
The fight is going to be a tough fight, so you should be prepared for it.
People have said that the minister called for a state of emergency. When
That is what you should do.
And so he comes, and then there's a turnaround, and it's like he's really halted on that decision of state of emergency because you are now the minister. So
But you don't show weakness. I recall when Professor Moses was in charge, he was a gentleman, a very calm man, gentle, so quiet, mild-mannered. He went to, I think, Gota region also, to meet some immigration officers. And when he was told about the kind of corruption, the kind of money that are stolen, literally, or the bribe that was going on, he literally cried. I saw him on TV. And I was so shocked. Why would the president be that emotional about it? And he literally cried on camera. You don't do that. You remember what happened when the IGP went to Boko? The fact that you are being shot at, the IGP is being shot at, is proving now that they are not ready for peace. Especially those those who are shooting at you. Get them arrested. Who has been arrested because of that? The whole IGP is threatened, and we do nothing about it, literally. Possibly they're investigating it. But somebody must be napped. It cannot be that the IGP is being threatened and we don't do anything about it. What about the ordinary person? The one who's well protected is being threatened. That would mean
So you, the minister that have the power, should not.
Why would you cry? Why would you come on TV and cry and tell us that you are sad? Of course, you know you are sad about it, but don't cry. Give us the motivation that you are ready to fight it.
Yes.
You must have that kind of confidence, exude the confidence that you will battle it out. But to be honest, those who genuinely are messing up, those genuinely who are destroying our forests, they must be arrested. They might be persecuted. I can't say for certain whether Akonta Mines has breached a particular law or whatever. But if it is known for certain, and if they have concrete evidence to prove that indeed they've been engaged in some illegality, they are mining in places where they have no license to mine, then they must be taken on. Of course, they have the chance to bring in their lawyers to defend them. But the fact is that if they are acting in accordance with the law, then we can't possibly criticize them because of politics. If they are acting in accordance with the law, they must go ahead. Of course, you give everybody fair trial, open trial. They have the right to bring in their own lawyer to defend them. Like you interviewed, you listened to the statement by the lawyer for Akonta Mines. The fact is that we cannot allow people, because of their personal parochial interest to destroy the entire country, to destroy the entire water bodies. No, we can't. You must be acting in accordance with the law. But more important, it must be stressed that the forest reserves should not be mined, should not be touched. We should have that permanently, untouched. There must be some virgin forest for all of us.
We'll be crossing over back to our cover soon. We just have
Ultimate
2
FM.
minutes, and so what next? Because it's like, well, Wontumi is the first to come.
There are others to come.
The others to come. But the noise making. Is it not time government take action? Put them before court. If they are guilty, they should be jailed.
Exactly.
What should be done? I mean, what is it that is stopping government from really taking this action? And it's like people have said they just want to win name for themselves, win some sympathy for themselves.
But look, if you happen to be the president of Ghana today, President Mahama, and you know for certain that some members in NPP are engaging in mining, and some members in NDC are also engaging in mining, quote unquote, they are all engaging in illegal mining. Which one would you go after first? Of course, it's only natural that you go after those in the NPP first, and then possibly, as you're doing that, they can be talking to those in the party to, of course, stop it, or possibly do the right thing. You certainly will not start with your people. You don't start with them. And of course, you know for certain that there are members in NPP and NDC who are all engaged in mining. Except that, of course, a good number of them have the license to do it.
I'll be coming
Ideally,
to,
I know
I'll
for
be
certain
asking evangelist. That will be my last question for him.
What I'm tempted to do, I can't say for certain, but I can say that if you happen to be a political leader or a politician, especially in NPP and NDC, a top guy, obviously if you're going to mining, you get a license. And they do have it. Except that when they're out there mining, as the politician or as the owner of this company, you cannot be out there policing them. And if they need more money, and if they engage in some illegality and get more money, why not? They will do it. And so it is something that you have to police. But ordinarily, if you are fighting against galamseyers, you wouldn't start from people within your party. But this must be an emergency situation. Why do we label it as an emergency situation? It means that you must give the president of court will assume emergency powers. And that would mean the soldiers must be given the order to go out there and fight them. Time and again, people have made the argument that we should give the soldiers and the police a shoot to kill order. I personally will not be subscribed to that kind of position. I don't like that. I don't really believe that's going to be a solution.
But don't you think it will be deterring enough?
Shoot to kill order. Let's give the police a shoot to kill order so that whenever they meet an armed robber, they will shoot him. In that case, we will eliminate all the armed robbers and we'll be free. Let's give them the order, this way they will shoot all the pickpockets and the rapists.
Don't you think these fights have become so difficult for us to deal with?
We've been dealing with the Bokwe case for that long, for a very long time. Should we give the policemen and the soldiers a shoot to kill order to go out there in Boko? No. When you happen to have a democratic government, whatever you do must be in accordance with the law. Of course, at times you have to take some hard decisions. And that's when the emergency powers must be activated. So I understand. When you declare a state of emergency in Boko, the military officers can still not be given the shoot to kill order. Because we have innocent people running around. They have to go about their businesses. And if you keep shooting people here and there, it will mean in fact you're in a jungle. And so ideally, you must respect the basic rights of the people, especially the right to live. Yeah. But at the same time, you must recognize that the police officers and the soldiers who are going out there to battle these galamseyers are also human beings. And they also have the right to self-defense. And then you are the minister, I will simply tell them, look, you're going out there to fight them and to stop them from committing an illegality, committing a crime. But you have the right to self-defense. As and when you're confronted by people who are armed, then you're justified to defend yourself. In that case, you can shoot. But that would mean your life is also being threatened. And you're better off having the soldier or the policeman alive than to have the criminal alive. So on that score, of course, they'll be granted the free will, the liberty, of course, to use their guns. Except that even that, you have to use the law. You have to use what we call reasonable force. Except that reasonable force or minimal force at times will end up in the death of somebody. But not when the life of the police officer or the soldier is threatened. He is justified to use the gun. He is justified to use some degree of force. But ultimately, it will be irresponsible for a democratic government to give a shoot to kill order. Especially in our country. That would not be appropriate.
Vandals, it's almost time. Let me wrap up with you this morning. There are complaints that there are some members of the NDC that are also indulging in this. And that, yes, just as we've all said, probably maybe they are pinpointing some members of the MPP and leaving out the NDC. What's your take on that?
My take is simple. You know, we are all human. Everybody wants to survive. But there must always be the right way of doing things. During the era of the NPP, whenever the issue with Galamsey came up, our brothers in the NPP were quick to also point that there are NDC people who are also doing it. Then I will say that, then why did we give you the power? What is the essence of the power that we gave you? Is to protect lives and property. But if people are destroying our lives, and there are some from your house, and you say, oh, even your neighbor's house, they are also doing same, then this power becomes useless in your hand. Today we have a president who is putting up a good fight. Certainly you will find NDC people, CPP, PPP. But what is wrong is wrong. The minister wept after watching the video of that devastating part of the Western region. They presented the video to him. They were all in a conference room for him to watch all. When he saw it, it hit him like a bomb. And that is where he is also coming from. People's lives are in danger. So if you are NDC, if you are in PP, what I want today, and I'm saying, is that there's a fight against the illegality. No matter who is doing it. If you're NDC and you are caught, it is you who have put yourself in this situation. We all voted for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to protect our lives and our forest and everything. If you will not help, but you join hands with the enemy, then you will become an enemy of the state. So that's my take. Everybody must stop the illegality that is going on. There's always a right way of doing things. Mining is not a crime, but it becomes a crime when you destroy lives and properties without you having the right to do so. go through the process, acquire your license, get your concession, and all those processes, and do it legally, so that people also will have jobs to do, and Ghana will be a better place. God bless us all, my brother.
All right. Thank you for coming. It's been a wonderful Monday morning. From
Charlie.
a wonderful Friday
from
morning.
Monday
sorry.
to now.
Friday morning, yes. So wonderful. Yes. I mean, and it's weekend. So, oh Charlie, Friday is the day that, like, at least it's one wonderful day that people enjoy. And when it's Friday, people really have a lot of fun. All right. The discussion still continues. I'll be going for a commercial break. When I come back, we'll still have some sing.
The country where I come from, the truth is ironic. Just like animal farm, justice mean inequity. So who go say the truth?
money to settle the debt or issues about whatever it is. Are you a government worker, a salaried worker? All you need to do is walk to our office with your 3 months pay salary and you are good to go to get a loan. Do you want to stock your shop? Come do business with us. Get our numbers 0501669243 and we're ready to do business with you, giving you a loan within 24 hours. The Cereal Nano 3 EV, we are going electrical. We are moving from fuel to a charging car. You can charge your car and that's it, you're good to go. You don't go through the cost of buying fuel day in, day out. You can go get this for yourself as a taxi. Can't you see? It will save you a lot of cost. All you need to do is just charge and you can cover as far distance as you want to. It will last. It is marketed in Ghana by Anointed Engineering Electricals here in Kumasi. And in Accra, well, we're located at Kwame Nkrumah Avenue in Accra, close to Farisco traffic light, opposite Glyco office. And in Kumasi at the TAT yard. On the Mayanka Road, you can call us on 0243480334 and 0544340589. Visit Anointed Engineering here in Kumasi and Accra. Their new showroom, Kobowe Nyakoma. Go there. Just go have a feel of the cars. See them. And I tell you, it comes with a lot of luxury, relaxation, and comfort. PKB Group of Companies, dealers in car batteries and car tires of all kinds, quality Turkish doors. Listen, that your new home. All you need to do is to get yourself security assured, and so in insurance security, you need quality Turkish doors to finish the house. Do you need car batteries for yourself? As a taxi driver, as a truck driver, you need to fix into your car a new car battery. Then PKB Group of Companies is calling this morning. Just walk to PKB Group of Companies. Our main office is located at Tafo, close to the Muslim cemetery, or at Ofori close to the Truck bus stop. You can also contact us on 020917030 or 0501485115. PKB Group of Companies, where quality car tires, car batteries are sold. Look, we are dealers in wholesale and retail. Car batteries of all sizes and of all brands. PKB, where quality is sold. This morning I'm giving you an opportunity to own a land at a 146-acre cocoa land at Dominacy New Site here in Kumasi. All you need to do is pick up your phone and call these numbers 0244862154 or 0241241624. If you are in need of this, if you want to earn good money, yes, you have to enter into different businesses. Cocoa farming is becoming more lucrative, and I'm telling you, call now and start doing business. It comes with a bell and you can use to develop any project of your choice. Charlie, this weekend you need cash, you need money, you need libri. NLA is opportunity. It's all about the NLA 590 mobile. Monday special all the way to Sunday Asida. Hey, this weekend you need to enjoy, and in enjoying it is money that will give you that enjoyment. Where you want to go, you need to spend, and the NLA is giving you that opportunity. All you need to do is just dial star 959 hash, fill it up, and you are good to go. Listen, I've told you, your money is paid right on your phone. You don't go through the stress of going to anywhere to be paid the money. You are getting the money right on your phone. It's all about the NLA 590 mobile. We pay as you go. Paid right on your mobile. Let's all support the project that is the Hill Comfort Notch Project. His Majesty 2462 II is calling on all of us to come contribute our quota. I've told you, listen, the phase one, if you go watch things for yourself, it is really marveling and so wonderful to see. But listen, don't be left out. You just have to be a part, and so contribute your quota. Any amount, no amount is small. As a group, as a church, as an individual, as a family, come walk to any Fidelity Bank branch. Yes, oh, dial star 776 star 1955 hash or 0541955525. Make your payment. It can be 20 cents, it can be 50 cents, 100 cents, 1,000, 5,000. It can be in any currency of your choice. All you need to do is come help. Let's give Comfort a face outlet. I've told you, the teaching hospital doesn't just serve people of Asante Band, but in fact, to us and people at the Bono and Ahafo region, and even it stretches to the north. Let your name be written in gold. Tabia Herbal Product. We've got products like Tabia Zenicare, Tabia Herbal Mixture, Tabia Herbal Capsule, and then Tabia Takum, my favorite. Now, do you want to boost your immune system? Then Tabia Zenicare is ready to do that for you. Tabia Herbal Capsule. It detoxifies the blood as well. Lost of appetite. Suffered from malaria, and right now you've lost appetite. Do you have symptoms of malaria? Tabia Herbal Mixture is ready to help. It will do just that. Tabia Takum for my men, not just the men, but the women lost in libido. Tabia Takum for a night duty. All you need to do, just Tabia Takum. I've gotten a new name. Tabia Master. Every afternoon. Don't just be there while others are enjoying and making money. NLA is giving you an opportunity. Star 959 hash. From Monday to Saturday, every afternoon from 1 p.m., get the opportunity to win big with the NLA 590. Look, it's strictly not for persons below the ages of 18. Alpha Hours Radio on Osgood 106.9. This is every Monday to Saturday. With Evans G-Man, Radio and Ultimate. from the hours of 12 midnight to 2 a.m. Let's do the prayer. Do you need transformation? Then you have to pray. And so you are doing that. You do that with Ultimate 106.9 right here on Ultimate right here. This and every Monday to Saturday. It's always a blessing to join. Oh, and don't forget to share the link. We'll be crossing over back to Star in a jiffy. But listen, take care of yourself. During the weekend, a lot of things happen. Manage yourself very well. And ensure you deal with everything that comes your way diligently. Join in. Start where the discussion still continues.